Well, hello, and it's that time for Ready, Set, Real Estate. We are available on demand and radio podcasts everywhere, including Spotify, Google Play, Anchor FM, iTunes, Stitcher, Breaker, Castbox, and more. Be sure to subscribe to our show at keyword Ready, Set, Real Estate. Remember, this show proudly supports Real Estate 100 Youth Foundation, our country's first real estate focused nonprofit for the youth and young adult, where we teach, seek, and empower youth ages 11 and up with real estate literacy, terms, concepts, and careers as an alternate pathway to success. Learn more at realestate100youth.org. Again, you can donate and show your support at realestate100youth.org. All right. You are tuning in. It is that time for a very information powerful show. As usual, like Coach K likes to say, anything less would be uncivilized. And shout out to those of you who are tuning in and supporting and subscribing to the show as loyal supporters. As loyal supporters. Oh, yeah. Shout out to my family, for rocking with me, my friends, supporting the wild ideas. It just really just cheer me on. And I love you. I love you all. You listen to me excitedly discuss about this journey of where we started with Ready Set Real Estate, and now to know that this is a brand, a company that supports real estate education for the general population overall. That's industry professionals, that's prosumers, that's the youth. And again, you can support the show by grabbing your own apparel. We do have the hoodies available. The seasons are changing. We now are in the fall season. So listen, grab a hoodie, get out here and represent. Remember, a portion of the proceeds are donated to Real Estate 100 Youth Foundation. I'm gonna make sure I drop that in the caption. Let me see. Let's make sure we create one for Real Estate 100. Donate and support at realestateYouth.org. Okay, let's get that in there. Yay! All right. I'm feeling tremendous, actually. I'm feeling really on top of my game. And it has been an incredible thus far last 9 months. We are in September. We are in season 5. Yes, season 5 of the show. And I laugh at myself because if I would have taken the show, as I learned, and you guys are watching me learn how to do shows, how to podcast, how to do vlogs, how to do broadcasting, and you have watched me take, I mean, how many episodes did I have? I mean, just a whole bunch of episodes. And we went 80 some episodes straight without chopping it up. And now I'm going 12 to 13 episodes tops and start new seasons. It allows me to also categorize the topics as well and really concentrate. You are watching me evolve this whole platform, and we are now starting a word of the week. So we are doing a one real estate word of the week, and we get to really expand our vocabulary. And I'm doing this because it's twofold. One, I love learning. And I feel when we learn more and we know more, We move differently in life, and we are able to make sure that uh, we're protecting our assets, if you will. We protect our assets. And yeah, so word of the week, I will share that towards the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. And if you're catching the live, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Say hi, say hello, shout out, wherever you are. We are going to be discussing mortgaging college education. And I wanted to bring this topic to the forefront in light of interest rates being relatively low. And I have to say relatively low because, interest rates do that. Interest rates actually fluctuate every single day. Let me say that again. Interest rates fluctuates every single day. And that's just what the market does. That's what the economy does. I think this will be a good segue for me to say, if you're looking to invest in real estate from an owner-occ perspective, owner-occ means owner-occupied, meaning for your personal residence. Do what makes financial sense to you. And it's not so much about what the market is doing, when's the best time to buy. And as a professional, active real estate professional, that is how I consult with people. Do what makes financial sense to you, your family, your situation, whatever you have going on, regardless of all the buzz you hear in the market. All right, so for those of you who are new to me, my name's Lisa Puerto, and I'm your host. I'm also known as Super Agent, creator and founder of many cool things that you can learn more at lasuperagent.com. Again, visit lasuperagent.com. You can subscribe to the show for just $5 a month. That unlocks exclusive access. Ooh, why am I tongue-tied? I'm thirsty. Son, can you go get me some water, please?
Yeah.
That means I'm thirsty. I'm getting all blah, 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 blah. You can unlock exclusive access to what we do on a monthly basis. And what are we doing? Yo, there's real estate webinars happening on a monthly basis. The webinar that's coming up, third Saturdays of each month, I do live webinars. They're short, sweet, powerful, depending on the Q&A. If I don't have too many active participants, or if there aren't any questions, then you can access the replay right in your inbox. And that's only available for those who are either paying or you're subscribing. So webinars alone, thank you. Webinars alone are $15. However, if you become a loyal supporter, you get access to those webinars. Again, $15 or $5, do the math. And so I'm excited about the schedule that we have coming up for 2020 already. Just tremendous things happening. If you're an entrepreneur, independent contractor, industry professional, I do invite you to check out the bit.ly calendar link. So bit.ly/calendar VIP, that's the Ready Set Real Estate event calendar. That way you know what's happening, what I got going, when's the show schedule. Just subscribe to it. You literally can subscribe to Google Calendars, you guys. And I think for me, it makes my life easier in terms of keeping you in the know of what's going on with Ready Set Real Estate and with me. So that's what I have going on. Okay. Let's see what else. Agendas, to-dos, and announcements. Very interesting time we're in right now. I was eating chips and guacamole earlier, so I know that salt has me a little parched. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the business. Today's episode, we are going to just discuss what that means when you hear people say mortgaging college or mortgaging your future. And for those of you who have children, or for those of you who are property owners and you are in college and you're thinking about refinancing or cashing out or doing a home equity line of credit, to pay for college and pay for your education, Here's one of the things that I would like to suggest you put into perspective, especially with anything. Education and college should be seen as an investment, not so much this thing about status. And that's someone coming from, I was tested gifted as a child, definitely graduated in the top 3% in my academic career all through life, had wonderful opportunities to go to any university on full scholarships. And the path that I chose and the journey that I chose was because, from young, I've always had this, and a shout out to my mom for instilling with me, what I get out of things is because of what I put into it. And same goes with education. Yes, there's a level of having, quote unquote, good teachers and institutions. The responsibility also falls on parenting and children, and not so much leaning and weighing on institutions for education. And even redefining what education means. Like, here we are at a time right now where I think it's interesting that people are knocking online education, but at this point, most people have learned something online, especially for, I see the memes that share that Facebook taught me, YouTube taught me, Google taught me, and now you have these mobile universities. This show, for example, has been serving as a mobile university for a lot of you who have been tuning in and learning real estate and empowering yourselves with real estate literacy so that you too are a real estate advocate in your tribe or in your family. When I say advocate, that just means you can be an advocate for the education. You can be advocate for the opportunity. You can be advocate for the various careers in this industry. You can be an advocate for investing in it as well. And this is why I don't take this platform lightly, because my spin on it, and I've always said this, and if you check out our description of the show, it's the raw, the uncut, the flip flops, the booms and busts of real estate with special guest millennial features. And I did it, I coined it with special guest millennial features from time to time because it is the generation I'm a part of, and it's a generation that I see they have been chain agents, good and bad, just like any generation. So our predecessors, same thing. I mean, you disrupted music and you disrupted jobs and industries, and we're also a generation now that is doing the same thing in our own way. And then our younger generation, like our children, like my son, I watch him disrupting how he learns, and just the level of innovation that he brings now and that I know he's going to bring in the future. And this is why I wanted to discuss this in light of what we see happening with the economy, and when we see recessions happen. And literally, I I am having this moment of full circle, because in 2008, when the housing crisis happened, I was in real estate, and I was doing real estate part-time. And it was at that time that I started to think, well, maybe, or even sooner, actually, it was around that time. And it was an interesting thing that crossed my mind during that time as the market tanked. The first thing I thought was, well, maybe I've got to go get another degree so I can earn more money, and thinking I needed to be more degree to earn more money. And when I started to explore that, mind you, I already had a degree and I was doing what I was doing at that time. And my industry, I was also in the insurance industry, and that dealing with life insurance policies and annuities and stuff like that, which I'm so grateful and thankful for, because what I learned, and that's what I infuse in my business, that's what you usually hear me say this on my platforms, is the two things in life that creates legacies and wealth is life insurance and real estate. Everything else is diversification. Stocks, bonds, mutuals, ETFs, and Anything else is diversification. Legacy, wealth building, life insurance, and real estate. Life insurance, you can have so much life insurance or so much value that you can create what is called an ILIT, an irrevocable life insurance trust. And then there's real estate, and of course you create trust, living trust for real estate. And anyway, so that's next level advanced stuff that those who are low supporters are able to learn more about those conversations when we delve into that on our exclusive webinars. And as I was exploring, I got to get more degree to earn more money, I realized in these years that it's not about being more degreed. It's really about identifying a need and fulfilling it. And when I think about, and I'll just give you a simple example. I remember I went to a conference a couple years ago. I went to a licensing expo because I started to step into the trademark, the intellectual property arena. And that's trademarks and patents and copyrights. And there's an entire group and world, it's just a whole nother different conversation right now, but stick with me here. I met a young guy he was from Wisconsin, I think. And he developed something simple as a case for the iPhone. And he said $10,000 to get one of the least expensive booths to be part of this licensing conference. And this was in Las Vegas, $10,000. And on the spot, you're meeting people who are buying licenses and ordering your products and services. And he was getting face to face with the people who make those deals. And I remember that night as we were exchanging, just stories and journey, he was saying to me, just gosh, like, you're pretty brave to come here by yourself. You don't know anyone. And he said, I came here with a friend, and, my friend it's funny because it'll clue you into who I'm referring to. So he was there with a friend, and his friend wrote the song, Who Let the Dogs Out. So again, you write a song, boom, your life changes, and licensing that out. So he was there, and he said, he was good. This was like the second night of the event. And earlier in the day, he sealed a contract that was a $40,000 order. He invested $10,000 for the booth and got a $40,000 order that day. Now, I say that to put things into perspective. And when we discuss about education, service, again, KPS, and I do a training on that called Spirit of Business, the spiritofbusinesscourse.com, Spirit of Business. You can check that out. And it's so funny how these things just full circle. Somebody out here is listening and just thinking, how am I going to sustain myself in this next shift? Because we do know real estate is cyclical. Real estate is cyclical. Real estate is cyclical. Maybe you should repeat that as a mantra. Real estate is cyclical. Real estate is cyclical. What am I saying? Real estate goes in cycles. We thus far are on one of the largest expansion cycles. We are on one of the we are on one of the longest expansion cycles in the history of the United States. And what does that mean? That we have been doing very well as the political arena has been working on putting a Band-Aid on the bust. I've said this in my intimate circles, the market is never corrected. We've never let it self-correct because everyone was just completely just terrified that we would let, what was it, too big to fail, let the big banks fail. And so bailouts and stimulus packages over the last administration just infused money, put a Band-Aid over it, and we never really recovered. And so as we look now, fast forward, and I'm looking at the same factors that we had back in 2008, 2006 through 2007, we're starting to have those same factors that led us to 2008. And so I wanted to bring up this conversation about education, recession, and relatively low interest rates so that you can put these things into perspective. This is me experiencing, and by the way, this, when the next recession hits, it will be my second to experience that I can recall. But I'm an 80s baby, so I was born in the Great Depression. So this would be my third one in terms of my lifetime. And so I have to put that into perspective, because what does that mean? I go back to quoting 50 Cent, who said, where he's from, there is no recession, right? So there are some of us that are going to be so resilient through this that we're just going to do this. We're not even going to feel it. And so for those of you who may be thinking about, well, I want to help my children or myself be in a better position education wise, and thinking college is going to be the fix it to that. Let's be mindful about what we call ROI, the return on investment. Is that education going to provide a return on investment for you? Because then you have to run an analysis of whether, if you take out, refinance, cash out to pay for college, will the additional or the increase in your payments, or maybe your home is paid off and then you're adding or you're refinancing, will it make financial sense? And so, Lisa, right now, as I'm speaking with you, I don't have a position as to whether you should do it or whether you shouldn't. What I am suggesting to you is to make sure you have a team of advisors and professionals with you to say, this is what I'm looking at doing. This is what I'm considering. Run the numbers. That's what I love most about real estate. While most of my clients make it emotional, that's when I come into play, because I make it about the numbers. Does it make financial sense? And some of you get a lot more better than me about running the numbers once you know how, and once we have the discussion and what to look for. And you guys are there driving a lot of my lenders crazy, because you're looking at it to the penny. You're looking at it to the penny. And that's okay. That just means you're now empowered, and now no one can get over you. And so I wanted to share this perspective with you, because as I recall in my experience, thinking that more education will solve the money situation was not the answer. And maybe someone needed to hear that perspective, that albeit you are thinking, if you help your child get up in life, and by paying their education by way through your house, remember, the equity in your home is your net worth. The equity in your home contributes to what you have in terms of your worth and your portfolio for your overall future. All right. And yeah, I just wanted to really hone in on this, because right now there is the buzz in those of you who are refinancing. So shout out to my clients who are, and it's something I have recommended and suggested they do, because these are the people that bought within a year or less than a year's time, and they have an opportunity to lock in a better interest rate. And then when you look at the break-even point and the numbers and how much they will save overall, it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm just not out here giving frivolous advice just because rates are relatively low. We did a great segment the last time where we talked about loan flipping. If you are not familiar with what loan flipping is, please check that episode out. I'm starting to have some of my own favorite episodes because of the level of information that I honestly am not seeing anyone share. I mean, everybody, and that's cool, because everyone, it's part of the greater piece. It's part of the greater picture, is that you'll learn investing from someone who strictly is all about investing and analysis. Here you get to really get real estate information in bite-sized, consumable pieces, if you will, where We learn one real estate word a week. We learn terms. We learn just kind of being able to have an open discussion and really just continue to grow. So, and that's been my personal angle and goal with this show is I wanted to have something that was completely basic. I did a show right now for the BBC Business Development Mastermind. I was one of the guest panelists there. Shout out to Evan Jefferson of the Black Billionaires Club. I was a guest panelist. So I just did that show. That was at 6 o'clock our time. And one of the things that I shared on there is, or what we were all in agreement with, is keeping it simple. So keeping it simple. And I realized we could easily take things for granted and not realize, and that's for me, this is note to self, and this is why I'm doing it in this form, is being able to take all that I know, all that I learned, all that I experienced, and make it into a very short, consumable, bite-sized segment where we're all learning together. All right. Okay. Well, if you don't have any questions or comments that you want to share, again, the lives are usually that opportunity to get in and get connected and being able to get some of those questions answered and some thoughts, some myths or misconceptions that you have heard off your chest. This is a place to dialogue about it. If you prefer to DM me those questions, and I can answer them on the show, and you want it to be anonymous about, what had happened was, or a unique situation that you'd like to discuss, and let it be a learning lesson for everyone, I would be really honored to share that question and answer it on the show so that we can all learn together. And yeah. All right. Be sure you are subscribing. All right. Check out gum.co/BACX. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in here. You want to subscribe and become a loyal supporter. Why? Because we have monthly webinars and it unlocks you to discounts on merch, ebooks, exclusive access to a whole bunch of other things that we have lined up for you as loyal supporters. And this is my way of rewarding the people that have been supporting this show, that have been supporting me. And thank you all who have been really saying that you've been receiving tremendous value. Thank you all for those of you who are attending our Ready Set Real Estate live events. Shout out to Miss Karen Reed, who was at the expo today. And the amount of joy Karen shared about what she learned on last month or this month's Ready Set Real Estate workshop just really fills me. And she said, I can't wait to the next one. And if you're a real estate professional, industry partner, listen, what we're doing is just really awesome things that is not nickel and diming you. I really want to see everyone win. And that's what really makes this very special, is because I am an active industry professional just like you. And there's some things that I see are missing in the industry. And what I'm doing is fulfilling that need and making sure that some of us don't get left behind. And that's what I see witnessing happening, is there is a group of people who are saying yes and who are coming on board and connecting and really complimenting me on my teaching and training style. And listen, y'all are amazing. I love you, like for real, because this is absolute joy. Like, you are witnessing a little girl live out her pure joy of real estate. And I've known, someone asked me that earlier today. Have I always known? Actually, client asked me that. And she asked me, and this was just, again, a compliment to the work that I've been doing with her. She said, have you always known as a little girl what you wanted to do? And rarely, you guys, people that do. And I've known I've wanted to do this since age 11, along with being an attorney. And so here we're witnessing me fulfill that vision, that dream. And for me, possibilities are infinite. All right. So let me drop in the link for loyal supporters. Again, you get a code with that, and you enter that code in any of the webinars, and you're able to attend for free. Again, you can join for just $5 a month, and receive just so much value from that. And the other thing we're going to conclude with before I end, all right, the other thing we will conclude with is, you guessed it, our word of the week is attorney in fact. Last week's word was abandonment. This week is attorney in fact. And what does that mean? It means one who is authorized by another to perform certain acts for another under a power of attorney. And a POA, which is also short for power of attorney, may be limited. So you can have a limited power of attorney, and that has to be authorized and given by an individual to another individual to act in representation form or incapacity for another person. And when it's limited, it says you can only do these things. And it's usually initialed or itemized and listed and stated what those things what those things are that that person can act on behalf of another person. All right. So attorney in fact, again, when you see that word in any form or contract, you definitely want to ask, who are you giving power of attorney to? All right. Very important. And I think this was a good word of the week because there are a lot of documents, including HIPAA forms, health documents. And if you are dealing with social services, for those of you who are getting social service benefits, or government benefits, there are forms that have that verbiage of attorney in fact, which means you are authorizing a limited power of attorney to governmental agencies and some of the health organizations or medical, dental, doctor, etc., or maybe even some banking institutions. So it depends. Again, I think that was a great word for the week, attorney in fact. All right. Well, I really like that. I like when we get to go in. I mean, last week I did a whole class. Today, we're not going to do that. We won't do a whole class today. Uh, we will keep it pushing and we'll keep it moving. And again, I trust you have found tremendous value in what was shared today. Again, make sure you are subscribing and connecting with me on all your favorite social media platforms at LA Super Agent. You can subscribe just to stay in touch at lasuperagent.com, adds you to my list. So when there's something popping off, you get a nice email and you're alerted of what's going on. And there have been a lot of things that I wasn't able to keep up, but now I'm really excited to say you'll be hearing a lot more from me. We'll be tightening that up. And again, subscribe to the calendar. It's the best way to know what is happening. All right. That's my time, y'all. Have a fantastic and productive week. We'll see you next week as we continue our series of Ready, Set, Real Estate. See ya. Hey.